With more retrenchments and job losses looming, what are your rights? And what are the correct processes to follow? And why does it feel so complicated? I speak to an expert to find out. Today, I'm chatting to labour lawyer Michael Bagraim, who's going to help demystify some of those UIF questions. Welcome, Michael. If you are retrenched, how do you go about applying for UIF?
Thank you. Yes, it's been a nightmare up until now, and I'm hoping that at least the Unemployment Insurance Fund will be a little bit more user-friendly. Well, they have brought out a new UI-19 form. Go onto the Unemployment Insurance Fund or the Department of Employment and Labour website, get out the UI-19 form. It actually is accessible. I tried it again this morning, so it's easy. That has to be completed by the employer. And employers have been using these forms for years now, so no one should be mystified by the UI-19. There is a new section to this form. It's section 17 under reason for termination codes. If in fact they've been retrenched, it's a dismissal for operational requirements, and there is a section there for retrenchment. One would expect employers to help employees who have been retrenched, and many of them don't have access to computers and the internet. I know many employers just hand the form to the employee and expect them to stand on their own, but it's not fair at this point because the department is so difficult.
It's all good and well applying, but how do you know how much UIF benefit you're actually going to get?
That's difficult, and it's almost impossible to outline because every person will differ. It depends how many points you've actually got. So what they do is they calculate how long you've been contributing for. They take that calculation with a maximum salary, what you could have earned, which is the 17,200 Rand per month. That's the maximum ceiling. And then you get a percentage of that from the maximum ceiling, and it pays out in accordance with how many points you've actually accrued. So if you've only been in employment for 4 months, obviously you're not going to accrue much. But if you've been there for 30 years, then you're going to accrue the maximum, and they have now extended that to at least 9 months worth of payment, working on the 17,200 and then the percentage of that. So it's not an easy answer to give you. So I don't want anyone saying you promised X, Y, and Z. Well, we don't, but they are following a formula. It's not discriminatory, the formula. The only discrimination is a ceiling of how much you can get.
What happens if you've claimed before? So maybe you've previously been retrenched or you've taken your maternity benefits. Would that also impact what you could claim now?
Absolutely, it does. And that's how many points you accrue. So you can have actually used all your points. If you've just come off maternity and then you start and then we go straight into COVID-19 and you're now beyond the TERS, they would have said you've used all your points already, so you don't qualify. If you're unhappy with what you've been paid out, they do have a system of appeal. Again, that's not working, unfortunately, and they don't answer you, but I don't run the administration.
The other problem that I've picked up is that people don't always realize they have to submit for continuation of payment. Don't you have to keep proving that you're still unemployed?
Yes, you must submit each month. Most of it is being done online. I think it's still wrong to go in and queue. We've still got a very bad COVID outbreak in just about every city in this country. So I am begging people to rather go online or get your employer to do that. Your employer owes you that. And I've actually sent a message out to all the employers that I deal with daily. Please do it for your employees. You owe them that. That duty of care doesn't stop once you've retrenched them. You still owe them that. And if you look carefully at the retrenchment exercise, you do owe them a duty of care beyond the employment. And one of those things you must do is make sure that they get their money. It's sometimes between life and death. It's bread on the table.
Thank you, Michael. Well, I hope that clears up some of the questions you may have had about your rights and the process of claiming from the Unemployment Insurance Fund.